Long ago, in the land of Israel, two armies stood facing each other on a valley battlefield. On one side were the Philistines, strong, loud, and confident. On the other side were the Israelites, God's chosen people, but right now they were afraid. Between the two armies was a giant of a man named Goliath. Every morning and every evening, Goliath would walk out in front of the battlefield. He was huge, taller than any soldier. His armor was heavy and shining, and the sound of his footsteps made the ground almost shake. And every day he would shout, "Send me a man to fight. If he wins, we will serve you. But if I win, you will serve us." But there was more than just a challenge in his voice. There was mockery. He insulted Israel. He insulted their king. And worst of all, he insulted the God of Israel. The Israelite soldiers would hear him and freeze in fear. No one stepped forward. Not the strongest warriors, not the trained fighters, not even King Saul himself. Day after day, the same thing happened. Fear filled the camp like a heavy fog. Meanwhile, far away in Bethlehem, a young boy named David was living a very different life. David was not a soldier. He was the youngest in his family. His job was simple, taking care of sheep. He spent his days in the fields, watching over them, protecting them from lions and bears, and singing songs to God under the open sky. David was not at the battlefield yet, but everything was about to change. One day, David's father called him and said, "Take this bread and grain to your brothers at the army camp. Bring back news of how they are doing." So David obeyed. He left the peaceful fields and traveled to the battlefield where his brothers were stationed. When David arrived, he heard shouting. He saw soldiers gathered in fear. And then he saw him, Goliath. The giant stepped forward again, laughing loudly. "Why do you even come out to fight?" Goliath shouted. "Send someone strong, or are you all cowards?" The Israelite soldiers backed away again. No one moved. David looked around, confused. "Why is everyone so afraid?" he asked. "Who is this man that dares to insult the army of the living God?" His words spread quickly. People were surprised. A young boy wasn't afraid? Even his older brother got angry and said, "Why are you even here, David? Go back home. You're just a shepherd boy." But David didn't back down. His confidence wasn't in himself. It was in God. Word of David's boldness reached King Saul, and Saul sent for him. When David stood before the king, Saul looked at him carefully. "You are just a young man," Saul said, "and Goliath has been a warrior since he was young. You cannot fight him." But David replied calmly, "I have taken care of my father's sheep. When a lion or bear came, I fought it and rescued the sheep. God helped me then, and God will help me now." Then David said something powerful. "The Lord who saved me from the lion and the bear will save me from this Philistine." King Saul hesitated, but finally agreed. He offered David armor, heavy metal protection for battle. But David tried it on and couldn't even walk properly. "I cannot fight like this," David said, so he took it off. Instead, he picked up something simple, his shepherd's staff, a sling, and 5 smooth stones from a nearby stream. People probably watched in silence. No armor, no sword, no shield, just a young shepherd walking toward a giant. As David walked toward the battlefield, Goliath looked at him and laughed loudly. "What is this?" Goliath shouted. "Am I a dog that you send a boy with sticks?" The soldiers on both sides watched. This was it, the moment everyone feared, or the moment everything would change. David stepped forward and said something that echoed across the valley. "You come against me with sword and spear, but I come against you in the name of the Lord Almighty." he continued, "This day the Lord will deliver you into my hands, and the whole world will know that there is a God in Israel." Then David began to run forward. Goliath moved toward him too. The ground felt like it was holding its breath. David reached into his bag, placed a stone into his sling, and began to swing it, faster and faster and faster. Whoosh! The stone flew through the air, straight toward the giant. It struck Goliath on the forehead. Silence. The giant staggered. Then slowly, he fell forward to the ground. Thud. The giant was defeated. The entire battlefield froze. No shouting, no movement, just shock. A young shepherd boy had done what an entire army was too afraid to do.
When the Philistines saw their champion fall, they turned and ran. The Israelites rose with courage and chased after them. Victory had come, not by strength of sword or armor, but by faith. David didn't win because he was the strongest. He won because he trusted God more than he feared the giant. And that is what makes this story powerful.